Welcome to Life Beyond Tax. Today we have with us an IRS achiever who marches to the beat of her own drummer. She has effectively combined her duties as an IRS officer with her passion for art and literature. She is a consummate artist. She is a painter, a poet, a writer of short stories in Hindi, and a filmmaker too. She has also dabbled in calligraphy and sculptures and even runs her own NGO, Prithvi. She is Miss Sangeeta Gupta, Principal Commissioner of Income Tax in Jammu and Kashmir from the 1984 IRS batch. Born in 1958 in Gorakhpur, UP. She is a science graduate with a master's in political science and a degree in law before she went on to become an integral part of the Department of Revenue, even winning a gold medal for the best probationer. While responsible for implementing tax laws, she is equally committed to her passion for art. She paints abstracts in oils and acrylics on canvas. She has a collection of published works, including short stories and 6 anthologies of poems in Hindi, which have been translated into several languages. She has even scripted and directed 7 documentary films, 3 of which were on the life of Mr. Keshav Malik, a noted poet and art critic. She has held more than 28 solo exhibitions of her paintings in India and overseas, in London, Lahore, Munich and Berlin. She has even participated in more than 150 group art shows. She has received awards for her drawing and painting, besides several achievement awards for her work in art and literature, including the Hind Prabha Award, the Poet of the Year Award, and even a Women Achievers Award from the Indian Council for UN Relations. Let's meet Miss Sangeeta Gupta, Principal Commissioner of Income Tax in Jammu and Kashmir and artist. Miss Gupta, welcome to Life Beyond Tax.
My pleasure to be with you.
Miss Gupta, you have studied science, you've studied law. You are in Jammu and Kashmir implementing tax laws. When did you truly discover your love for painting, art and literature?
Actually, I come from a family where everybody was interested in literature, reading, music. So it came very naturally to me. My parents believed that education comes from what you read, what you try to understand. And my father always told me that, a kind of discipline, self-discipline is required, which you don't understand as a child. But gradually, when you lose your parents, then all what they have said comes back to you in a flash, and then
your love for art and literature found its expression after you joined the Revenue Service.
I started writing poetry around the age of 15 and 16. Very influenced by Bengali literature. Somehow Rabindranath Tagore really took me by storm, and I really loved Gitanjali. I was very fond of reading Mahadevi Verma, Nirala, Jashankar Prasad. So all these mystic poets, Rahasyavadi Kavi, these really influenced my thought process. So now I realize that my love for poetry was always there, and I used to scribble, but gradually my poems became more mature with age. And while I was in my first posting around 86, 87, I met Mahadevi Verma and I gave her my manuscript of poems. But in few days' time she called me and she said, "You are a poet, and never give up on your poetry. You will get married, you'll have children, you'll have no time with job, but poetry is your core competence. Whenever I am not in touch with poetry or I have not written for long, then still I feel that it will come back to me."
Sure. Then you turn to your art, painting.
These are all complementary creativity. They complement each other. Poetry is very close to painting. Poetry is a painting by words, and painting is without words. You are expressing yourself. All forms of art, even reading, I feel, is very important.
But reading is a little passive, whereas art, painting,
writing,
it's a more active form.
But if you do not read a lot, you cannot write good.
Sure.
Reading is intrinsic part of a writer's or poet's life.
Which is your favorite mode of expression?
You know, when I am in a phase of writing poems, I write poems, and when I am in a phase of painting, then mostly I am these days, in last so many years, I am more into painting. And as and when the poetry doesn't come easy to a human being, you have to have that kind of mental space.
How would you define this mental space?
Mental space, if you are thinking of all the time about mental mundane things, that मेरे को ये करना है, वो करना है, to do this, that, or too many things are pressurizing your brain, then that mental space is not there. Then you have to find that space. Then only creativity comes to you.
Okay. And does your creative life interfere with your duties as
Not at all. I
an IRS?
consider myself a better officer in the sense that I'm more sensitive to people. And whether administering tax or administering my subordinates, it's the same. You have to have that kind of compassion and sensitivity towards people.
But if you're in the middle of a painting and your heart is absolutely taken up by that painting, your every living moment is taken up by the painting, then doesn't that clash with your
No,
work?
when I'm painting, I'm 100% with that painting. I'm a very regimented and self-disciplined person. When I'm in office, then I don't think about painting. I always consider that being a painter and a poet makes you a better human being and also a better administrator, because then you have that kind of basic intrinsic
So you
compassion.
carry the gentleness into your work as well.
Of course, but at the same time, I can be very tough with my subordinates or with people when what I have to deliver, I have to deliver.
What were your challenges in implementing tax laws in
People
Jammu and Kashmir?
especially in the valley, people are not tax compliant. They don't want to file their return. They don't want to pay taxes because the militants and other people have always tutored them that you don't pay anything to the government of India because they are not your people. So the challenges are very big. But I thought that let me convince them, and I said that you people are special. You are governed by Article 370, and let me give you the example of Maharashtra, where I collect 100 rupees and spend only 60 rupees on Maharashtra. But when I collect 100 rupees from J&K, I spend 125 rupees. So every penny you pay, it will come back much more than what you have. And till you pay, no infrastructure can develop.
You have taken the stance of convincing rather than issuing demand notices.
I have been telling people that the whole mindset about civil services should change. People should also believe that civil servants are there to give them ease, comfort and better way of life.
Okay, and what are the changes you have brought about in tax collection in Jammu?
I realize that in Jammu and Kashmir, 13.5 lakh people have PAN cards, the PAN card holders, but only 84,000 SSCs are there. The widest gap which I have seen in any state is Jammu and Kashmir. And the effective SSCs who are regular taxpayers and filing returns are only 66,900. And I was given a target of adding new SSCs to the tune of 75,000. And that day I was shaken. I said, my God, how do I go about it?
Yeah.
But I said, let me start. And with divine grace, today we have added 90,000 new SSCs.
Wow.
So, which is...
You have exceeded your targets.
I have exceeded my target. The most amazing part is in the Kashmir Valley, only 6,000 odd people were filing their regular returns. Now we have added 23,000. And because Kashmir Valley is Kashmir Valley, so 23,000 addition of new SSCs, it gives me immense satisfaction.
And do you find the job a little more difficult being a woman?
Not at all. Gender has nothing to do with my job. I have never, when I work, all the people, it is only a peculiar state that I don't have any woman working under me. I have no subordinate who is a woman. And it doesn't bother me at all. Initially, in the initial stages when you work, when you join as an assistant commissioner, maybe some people think that, this is a woman, how she's going to tackle all this accounts and maths and It's a very technical subject. Taxation is very technical. Out of all branches of law, taxation is the most technical. So I proved myself in the academy itself. When I went there, I was a student of political science, deeply interested in poetry and literature. But income tax act उठाया तो it was beyond me. मुझे तो उसकी English ना समझ में आया. Notwithstanding से तो आपका वो act ही start होता है. All most of the sections are so complicated. I will never be able to clear my departmental exam, and I didn't know debit and credit. I was never a student of commerce, and my expression in the class was so blank that my course director, "It's beyond you, you are going to be a perpetual probationer." I took it so badly, it really broke my heart. I said, I'm going to prove this man wrong. And ultimately, after 18 months, I was the topper of my batch. I got not only for academics, I also got the Best Probationer Award for everything.
You got a gold medal for being the best probationer.
It is not, Best Probationer is not only about academics, about overall personality.
Can you recall for us some memorable incidents in the Department of Revenue?
I have worked as a investigating officer and conducted many searches on my own. The only beautiful thing which I decided to do is that I would not collect information from informers, because they sometimes double cross you. And also, I thought that I'll take it upon myself to build up my own cases. So it was very exciting, very challenging, and most of my cases turn out better. I conducted searches against such people who were very, very criminal, and my department would have never thought to do a search on that. I did a search which was in the Howrah scrap iron market, which is the biggest in Asia, railways contracts and all that. One mafia don I searched. I knew that he has killed many people, but I thought that police is not able to handle this man. Let me do it, and it became a very big success. But for me, Calcutta was the golden period. Then again, Jammu is supposed to be a hardship posting. I'm enjoying my tenure. I've opened 3 new offices. I've opened an office in Katra, in Vijaypur Sambha, and in Baramulla, which was a very big task. In last 8 years, nobody had opened any new office. In last 7-8 months, I have opened 3 new offices. Maybe because I'm so enriched by poetry and art that it gives me additional energy to do all this.
So when do you find the time to paint or write?
Oh, after 6 o'clock, most of the time after 6:37, I am on my own till the next morning. It is your choice. You want to watch TV, gossip, go partying or paint.
Okay.
You must know what brings you happiness.
Sure. And that's where you find your joy.
Yeah. Everybody has to find that. What makes you more happy.
So. Sure. And how long does it take you to do a painting, to complete a painting?
Nobody knows. Even I don't know how much time I'm going to take to complete that painting. I mostly work in my studio maybe 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours on a Saturday, Sunday. Maybe I don't even venture out of my house on a weekend.
So on a regular working day, how many hours can you devote to painting?
2 hours, 3 hours, not more than that.
Do you think your paintings reflect your spiritual journey?
Yes, of course. You will, whether you want or you don't want, you will only paint what is there in your subconscious mind.
Does your work come into your paintings?
In my painting, people say, so there's a lot of precision, because I have a very clear mind. I have an analytical mind because I studied science. Then you do law, all these subjects, and day in and day out you're looking towards figures. So that precision would be there in your subconscious mind.
All right. Do you think it's difficult to sort of come together as far as your creative pursuits are concerned and your precise analytical training in your work is concerned?
No, because being an artist and a poet, I always like to innovate my work. You can be more creative dealing with taxation. When I write an order, when I used to write an assessment order, it should be it should have free flow, and it helps you. It has never hampered my work.
Because both these, your duties as an IRS officer and your creative pursuits, they are as diverse as chalk and cheese.
No,
So
I
how
don't
do you?
agree. I don't agree. Dressing up is art. When you go to your kitchen and you you make some food, it is again creativity. When you lay the table nicely and your salad is dressed and everything, it is again creativity. Everything is creativity. We have made a compartments that only poetry is creativity. Everything, your way of living is creativity.
So you bring in the precision from your work into your paintings and the creativity of your paintings into your orders.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right.
After all, I am one human being. I cannot make a compartment that this is the poet, this is the artist, this is the filmmaker, or this is the tax administrator. There cannot be compartments. You are a composite persona.
Absolutely. Has your family life suffered?
Not at all. My son is a very evolved person and he's a very well-behaved person. When I see the teenagers in JNU or otherwise, I feel that I'm blessed to have a son like him. He is my pillar of strength.
And what are you working on currently?
I'm working on a new series of paintings. So my new series is called Where Silence is a Poem. I went to Ladakh very recently in October, and then when I came back, my color palette changed on its own. More subdued colors, because Ladakh is like that.
Yeah.
It has a desert, it has snow, it's a very enlightening state. It is an awakened place that you cannot die as a creative person without seeing Leh Ladakh. It has a different experience altogether.
So, is this a work where you bring in your poetry, silence, into your paintings? Or you are putting together?
This sentence, I was to send a new painting to somebody. I was thinking about what should be the title, and then I realized, there's so much silence and it is so comfortable. There's so much tranquil in this work, so I named it as Where Silence is a Poem. If you're not comfortable with silence, there's so much noise happening outside and inside in your thought process. So it is always very important to seek silence.
And do you have a spiritual guide who moves you along?
Yes. Around 1995, I met my spiritual guru. Though being a Hindu, I always thought that the Hindus, they have that sanskar and they don't need gurus. I had a Danish friend and she had a guru in Calcutta, and she said, come and meet him. So I said, you need that kind, you have come from a Western culture. One day I asked her that, please take me to your guru, I want to meet him. In that moment I met him, I realized that I know him, and he also said so.
So how has your art changed over the years?
It has changed completely. If you see my works which I did in 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, well, they're totally different. Till 97, I would say till 98. Then gradually I evolved to be an abstract painter.
You're also working as an NGO and
I started a society. I always feel that to the society. So wherever you are, you have to contribute something. And I started an NGO to promote people who are struggling with art and how much government can do. So my paintings has given me the opportunity to be of some help to the society.
Now you're also working with the government of Uttarakhand.
Yeah. What has happened is in 2013, when this Uttarakhand tragedy happened, so my heart went to them, do something for them. Then I did an exhibition, and I said that all sale proceeds of this will go to Uttarakhand. Then we thought that if we make small houses or give some money to somebody, it is of no help in the long term. So I being a taxation person, I said, let me create a fund. So we could raise 20 lakhs. I gave it to Uttarakhand government. I made a constitution. I said, make it a fund, fine art education fund.
Okay.
And then it was made, and subsequently with lot of pestering to the government, I also got a matching fund. So now we have a corpus of 40 lakhs, and in 2 years time we have been generating some interest out of that corpus, and from that interest we are going to support students. We have selected some 25 students from Almora, Garhwal and Kumaon University. They are all undergraduates between the age group of 18 to 22
Okay.
who are studying fine arts, and we will.
All right. Studying fine arts in Uttarakhand or even
The student should be, or the artist should
Dedicated.
be from Uttarakhand, a native. Otherwise, he can study anywhere. That freedom is his.
all right. And in your new work, how many paintings are you planning to
I
have?
don't know. I would be doing some 20-25 paintings. I've just started. So I'm also writing a book on Kishore Malik. He's a great poet. He's no more. He has been my mentor.
You have also made
3 documentaries on him. Yeah. So as a tribute to while he was alive, my film was made.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to document what he was saying. It was very important for the art world.
Yeah.
And then I made another film on him.
And what charmed you about Mr. Malik's life?
Oh, Mr. Malik was like a mistake. I met him in 98 while I was looking for somebody to inaugurate my exhibition in IFX Delhi. And somebody said that he's the man who would do it. And he's in the gallery, go and talk to him. So I went to the gallery, I saw a very tall man, very handsome, good looking 75-year-old man. So I went and said, Kishore, I need to talk to you about my inauguration of the exhibition. So he said, this is too much noise, let's go out and talk. And I didn't know who he was. So he said, we started talking about literature, painting and all, and I talked to him for almost 1 hour. Without realizing, people don't even utter a word in front of him. Then he said, okay, I'll inaugurate your show. I'll also help you to curate the show. So we became great friends. He called me a friend, but I always considered him as a friend, philosopher, guide and a mentor. So Kishore really shaped me to become an abstract painter. I have a very long association with him of 18 years. Wow. And the graph, that was one relationship where the graph never went down. It went up, up and up. We did a book together with my paintings and his poems. We did an exhibition with his poems and my paintings. Then he translated my poems in English. So very creative relationship. And then I made 3 films on him and I'm writing a book on him.
So what do you prioritize? Your new set of paintings or?
It will work simultaneously. If I want to paint, I'll paint. But now I want to prioritize. I want to finish this book.
Ms. Gupta, we wish you all the very best in all your ventures, and it's been lovely speaking with you.
Lovely speaking to you too. And sometimes people bring out the best in you. You have been able to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.